Fox Sports.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday evening to you, wherever you may be. After 16 games outside of the division, the Dodgers go back to playing Western foes. And tonight, it'll be Colorado. Then they'll go on the road to play Arizona and finally San Diego before coming back. For the Dodgers, 5.5 games behind the Giants, and the Rockies are 3.5 games back. Last year, the Dodgers dominated Colorado. They beat them 14 of the 18 meetings, and for that matter, since August of 2008, the Dodgers have beaten Colorado 17 of 22. Hiroki Kuroda against Esmiel Rogers, a battle of right-handers. We'll get to the ball game right after this.
Andre Ethier last night, another game winner, and he's already made a name for himself. He's also becoming a big-time star in this league and also being compared to some of the great athletes in the clutch in any sport.
Well, you know, every little leaguer, when they're standing in their backyard, dreams of being the guy who comes to the plate in the ninth inning with the bases loaded and a chance to win a ball game. Unfortunately, when they get into that spot, they remember those dreams and they choke under the pressure. Andre Ethier acts like he doesn't care. He just gets up there and he treats it like another at-bat, and that's why he comes through as much as he does.
It's time for our Lexus Pursuing Perfection. We can talk about the moments, but let's relive Andre Ethier's walk-offs from the last 2 years.
home phone and wireless. Visit att.com or call 1-800-PICK-ATT for details. By Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodger Stadium, the host ballpark, the Dodgers, the host team, and the visitors, the Colorado Rockies. The Dodgers certainly had their way with the Rockies last year, beat them 14 out of 18, and going back into August of 2008, they've now beaten them 17 out of 22. Both clubs not doing exceptionally well right now, bothered by injuries. And here's the starting lineup for the Rockies. Seth Smith in left field, Dexter Fowler in center, and Todd Helton at first base. Troy Tulowitzki is hitting cleanup at short, Carlos Gonzalez in right field. Ian Stewart will be at third, Miguel Olivo behind the plate, Clint Barmas at second base, Esmil Rogers on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, right-hander Hiroki Kuroda. He comes into the game with a record of 3-1. However, he is 0-2 in his career against the Colorado Rockies. Kuroda, in looking at his record month by month, you find out in his 3 years in the States, he's been 6-5 April and May with a good ERA of under 3. Then June and July, he has slumped. He was 5-9 with an ERA over 5. And then August and September, when the chips are really on the table, August and September, 9-4, and his best earned run average of 2.6. So Hiroki Kuroda ready to work here in May against a ball club that has really struggled here at Dodger Stadium. Last year, the Rockies lost 7 of 9 here, and one of the big reasons, so many of their good players just could not buy a hit. Clint Barmas hit less than 100, Tulowitzki 121, Spilborg 136, and so it goes. So we'll see how they do it now on their first visit. Seth Smith checks in at the plate. Left-hand hitter swings at the first pitch and doesn't get it. 0-1. So Seth, left-hand hitter, trying to get something started. The Rockies have done well early in games. And the strike one pitch on the way. Seth again swings. Little roller to the right side. Up with it is DeWitt to get him. So Seth Smith rolling out, and just like that, one away. Pretty good time to take a look at the Dodgers with the leather. Xavier Paul, Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier in the outfield. Casey Blake, Jamie Carroll, Blake DeWitt, James Loney on the infield, with Russell Martin handling Kuroda. So with one down, the switch-hitting center fielder, Dexter Fowler, coming up. Fowler hit .207 in this ballpark last year. He's hitting .257 for the year. He has 1 home run, 3 runs batted in, and takes off the plate, ball 1, 1-0. Fowler, with great running speed, stole 5 bases in a game. He swings a roller to Blake DeWitt. He picks it up and flips it to Loney, and just like that, we have 2 down in the first inning. For the Rockies, they're a strange ball club in many ways. They're break even, 14-14 for Jim Tracy. 9 times they have won a game following a loss. 9 times they have lost a game following a win. Their longest winning streak, 3 straight. Their longest losing streak, 3 straight. So here now is Todd Helton, as Jim, who did such a tremendous job, especially in the second half of the season last year. The 1-0 pitch, and Helton takes a strike. It is a rare day in May or any other month that Todd Helton, who has 38 home runs in his career against the Dodgers, has not hit a home run against anybody this year. Half a dozen RBIs, hitting .284, and Kuroda delivers and flips it away. 2-1 the count. One of the things about Todd Helton, it seems like all of his at-bats are so long, and there's very good reason. He sees a ton of pitches, and he'll foul them off if he takes them. This one is in at the knees, and the count 2-2. Helton had 314 what you would call long at bats last year. That's an awful lot. 2-2 pitch on the way is fouled off, so here he is. He's already had 5 pitches. Helton, during those long at bats, hit 315, and the only player to hit 300 in what you would call that long at bat. So this is typical. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kuroda ready, and Hiroki delivers, and it's fouled back. When they were talking about Helton and his long at bats, they said he averages 27 fouls in at bat. Well, of course he doesn't, but you get the point. He's amazing how he can foul off pitches, although he says he is still not ready. He's still working on things, and he has a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Kuroda, feet together on the first base side of the rubber, and the right-hander rocks back, turns, 2-2 pitch on the way. Helton swings and misses, and down he goes. It took a bunch of pitches to get him, but they got him. So the Rockies go down in order, and at the end of half an inning, Colorado 0, Dodgers coming up. Seven of the 11 against Todd Helton. Here's the Dodger lineup now. Xavier Paul in left, Matt Kemp in center, Andre Ethier in right, and James Loney celebrating his 26th birthday at first base. Casey Blake at third, Russell Martin behind the plate. Blake DeWitt hits 7th, Jamie Carroll at short, 8th, and Hiroki Kuroda the pitcher. The Dodgers made an announcement right after batting practice as Esmil Rogers looks in. And the tall right-hander ready, and his first pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1. John Eli, who pitched so well the other night, will be sent down to Albuquerque to make room for Jeff Weaver. Strike 1 pitch, and that's a little low. So a disappointment, of course, for Eli, who pitched so well. However, he's young and talented, and you would expect to see him back here. Rogers out of the Dominican Republic. The 1-1 pitch on the way is taken a little high. Ball 2, 2-1. He's 6'1", about 170 pounds. Originally signed by the Diamondbacks 7 years ago. He was an infielder when he was signed. The pitch to Xavier Paul is low, so Rogers falls behind 3-1. He's 24 years old. He'll be 25 in August. From Santo Domingo, the capital. The 3-1 pitch on the way is taken low. So ball 4, and Xavier Paul, who can run, is to first base. We can take a look at the Rockies defensively, and they have Seth Smith, Dexter Fowler, Carlos Gonzalez in the outfield, Stewart, Tulowitzki, Barmes, and Helton on the infield, and the battery of Esmil Rogers and Miguel Olivo. So with Xavier Paul at first, the batter now will be Matt Kemp. Kemp hitting .287. He has 7 home runs, 20 runs batted in. He's had those 2 numbers attached to him for quite some time now. Throw over to first, and Paul jumping back to the bag. For the Rockies, they come in here with a lot of their players banged up. You know, the Dodgers feel that they haven't made a move without Furcal and Manny Ramirez. Kemp takes a strike, and they count 0-1. But Brad Hopp, Jason Hamill, Jorge De La Rosa, Jeff Francis, Houston Street, they're all banged up. 0-1 the count. Rogers a high set up around the face, comes back to his hitter, works it low, and he now has a 1-ball 1-strike count. In looking at Rogers' numbers, he is in his 5th game. He has walked 7, he has struck out 7, so that means he's really been battling it. Rogers leans in, getting a sign. Paul held on by Helton. Now the pitch to Kemp, that's in for a strike, and the count 1-2. Gary Darling, the crew chief, is also the plate umpire. Bill Hahn, Bruce Dreckman, Paul Emmel working the bases. For Rogers, fastball, curveball, and changeup. Right-hander from a stretch. Again, Paul off the bag. Kemp a big swing, and he comes up empty, and down he goes. So Matt Kemp really struggling for the moment. Strikes out, and the batter will be the closer, Andre Ethier. Ethier, who did it again last night by having that walk-off grand slam home run. It's rather remarkable, not only that he's Johnny on the spot all the time, but then he always seems to deliver. He's had 11 career walk-off hits, 6 of them career walk-off home runs. And this time he drives one into left center field. Going to the track to pick it off is Seth Smith. And back to first base goes Xavier Paul. So Ethier a long out to left. And we have 2 down. And the birthday boy coming up, James Loney. So Loney coming up, putting up good numbers, as you know. James hitting .330. 2 home runs and 19 runs batted in. When Loney puts up the good numbers, the Dodgers usually win. In the games where the Dodgers have won, 12 of them, he's hit .510. There goes Paul. The throw is a bounce throw, and at shortstop Tulowitzki can't hold on to it. So Olivo unable to get off a good throw, and Xavier Paul steals it. For Paul, he has shown the Dodgers he's becoming a pretty good defensive outfielder. Paul came into the game hitting .269, and he's 2 for 2 now, make it 3 for 3 in stolen bases. So Loney trying to pick him up. James waiting, Rogers set, looks back at second base, and the 1-0 pitch on the way, fastball in there. So when the Dodgers win, Loney hits .510. 13 RBIs and scored 12. When the Dodgers lose, he's hitting .197, knocked in 6 and scored 5. So you look to Loney to find out how the Dodgers are doing. And the 1-1 pitch to James swung on, fouled away off third in the lower deck, and the count 1-2. It is a beautiful evening here at Dodger Stadium. 71 degrees, and with the sun setting, the sun is splashing right at the scoreboard in right field. Kind of a spotlight on it. And of course, Loney's numbers deserve a spotlight. So James waiting. 2 home runs, both of them hit here, a departure from last year, as you know. James chases a bad pitch in the dirt and strikes out. So Rogers strikes out 2, walks 1, and at the end of an inning, no score. The ball game, the Rockies and the Dodgers. It'll be Troy Tulowitzki, followed by Carlos Gonzalez, then Ian Stewart, with the big catcher Miguel Olivo due to bat fourth. Tulowitzki batting .295, hitting cleanup and fouls a pitch away. He has 1 home run, 13 runs batted in. You remember last year, Jim Tracy and the Rockies really made the move after the All-Star game. They won 45 and lost only 29. And the leader during that surge was Tulowitzki. Troy takes off the plate, kicks back from Martin. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Tulowitzki and Gonzalez were the 2 guys who really had the Rockies moving last year, and they look to them again this year for the full season. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way to Troy. Inside, he has to jump away. 2-1 the count. Tulowitzki came to the big leagues in a hurry. He reached the majors in 14 months, where he played in Modesto, Tulsa, and bingo, he was in the big leagues. Now the next pitch to him is in for a strike. Tulowitzki has always had a fine throwing arm. In fact, when he was at Long Beach State, they once clocked him on a double play throw to first at 94 miles an hour. 2-2 pitch, down and away, hard slider just off the plate. So 3-2 the count to Troy. He had 24 home runs in 2007, the most ever by a rookie shortstop. 3-2 pitch is up for ball 4. So one slider was down and away, the other slider was up. Kuroda kind of looked at Gary Darling as if to say he certainly thought it was a strike. So now with Tulowitzki at first, nobody out. His name is Carlos Gonzalez, and they call him Cargo. Left-hand hitter, batting .317. He has 3 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Tulowitzki has stolen 2, but he's also been caught twice. And Gonzalez waits at the plate. Gonzalez in the first half of last year hit .339, but that was in Colorado Springs. And then after a very rough first month in the big leagues, after the All-Star game, he hit .320. So he is a very talented young player. He came in the deal that sent Matt Holliday away. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Gonzalez swings, fouls it back, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Gonzalez also playing right field because Brad Hopp is down. Brad Hopp, one of many on the DL. He has a strained left quadricep, and they expect Hopp back maybe after this series, maybe by Monday. Talking about Hopp, they have to really miss him because he's always given the Dodgers a terrible time. In fact, since 2005, no player has more home runs or RBIs against the Dodgers than Brad Hopp. 19 home runs and 72 ribbies, and he had the same touch last year when he hit 5 home runs just against the Dodgers. Gonzalez waiting 1-1. Out of his stretch goes Kuroda. Tulowitzki off the bag. Gonzo takes off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. So Hiroki Kuroda facing Carlos Gonzalez. Gonzalez, 24 years old. He'll be 25 in October. Originally signed by the Diamondbacks as a 16-year-old free agent. 2-1 the count. A bluff by Kuroda. Steps off the rubber. Tulowitzki held on by Loney. We're in the second inning. No score. Just starting. Game 1 of the 3-game series tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon. 2-1. There goes Tulo. The pitch is low. The throw is late. So Tulowitzki steals second. He had a good jump. Martin tried to get it down there, but Tulo had the bag stolen. The pitch was down. Martin had to backhand it, come up, fire to strike. But by the time Jamie Carroll got the tag down, Tulo was well in there ahead of it. So a runner at second, nobody out. Gonzalez, Stewart, and Olivo trying to pick him up. Gonzalez last year, 13 home runs, 29 runs batted in. And he has been dynamite, especially in his first at bat. He pulls one on the ground to the right side to DeWitt, who throws him out. But Tulowitzki moves over to third. So Cargo delivers and gets his man over, and now Ian Stewart coming up. For Kuroda, he's already had 3 ground balls to Blake DeWitt. And with a runner at third and 1 out, the Dodgers now play the infield up as Stewart checks in with a .279 batting average, 5 home runs, and 13 runs batted in. Kuroda set, looks over at third at Tulowitzki down the line. Now Hiroki delivers, and it is low and away, ball 1. Ian Stewart is from Long Beach, went to La Quinta High School, lives in Garden Grove, and he was the first high school position player the Rockies selected in the first round in their history. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. Kuroda delivers, and a little breaking ball drops in nicely for a strike, and the count 1-1. And looking at Kuroda, as we always do, with a runner at third, this is a dangerous moment for Hiroki. He has 3 wild pitches. Outfield very deep. Tulowitzki comes down the line from third. And the next pitch is lifted to pretty shallow right field. Ethier coming a long way, makes a diving catch, but then Tulowitzki is able to beat the throw to the plate. So Andre Ethier had to come a long way. He was playing Stewart, a left-hand hitter, very deep, and by the time he got there, he had to leave his feet. Well, when you leave your feet, pretty hard to get up and throw a guy out. And Tulowitzki, who runs well, is able to get in there. So Stewart scoring fly ball to right field, and the Rockies take a 1-0 lead here in the second inning. Now Miguel Olivo coming up. So Ethier makes a good catch on a pop fly and then loses any chance of getting Tulowitzki. The pitch of the plate in for a strike to Olivo. Chris Iannetta is doing well, but they send him down to the minor leagues. Olivo hitting .245, 5 home runs, 13 RBI, shatters his bat, and by the time Blake picks it up, it's too late. That bat really came apart. A slow roller, and Blake unable to handle it. So Olivo gets himself a base hit to third. One piece of bat went across the vision of Casey Blake, and then he had a double clutch, and Olivo beats it out. So Casey had a lot of problems, debris and a clutch. So it's 1-0 Rockies, second inning, and now Clint Barmes coming up. Barmes, the regular second baseman. Remember when he first came up, they thought he was the shortstop until Tulowitzki came on the scene. Clint out of Vincennes, Indiana. A throw over to first, Olivo back on the bag. Clint Barmes went to school at Indiana State. 31 years old. 1-0 in favor of the Rockies. Second inning with 2 out. Kuroda set up around the collarbone. Now Hiroki delivers. Fastball whacked into left field for a base hit. We neglected to tell you that Barmes is a very good fastball hitter, and sure enough, he got his pitch.
Pitcher number 48, Esmail Rogers.
So a couple of base hits coming with 2 out from the bottom of the lineup, and if nothing else, it'll get the pitcher up and out of the way so that the leadoff man starts the next inning. Esmail Rogers has had just 1 at bat. He struck out, so no indication of whether he can hit or not. right-hand batter at 6'1", gives you a good strike zone. Kuroda's first pitch is swung on and missed. Good fastball at 91. 0-1 the count to Mr. Rogers. It's 1-0 Rockies in the second inning. Esmil, his first name Esmil. Strike one, pitch on the way, waved at and missed. 0-2. Well, it's a good thing from that swing that they converted him from an infielder to a pitcher. It might have been a longer road to get here. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Kuroda set, checks the runners. Here he comes. Slider hit off the end of the bat in foul ground. Loney goes over and backhands it for the out. So the Rockies get a run on a walk. They also leave 2 hits, and it's 1-0 Colorado. And it'll be Casey Blake, Russell Martin, and Blake DeWitt against young right-hander Esmil Rogers. And his first pitch, fastball on the inside corner for a strike. Wouldn't you know, Hiroki Kuroda, as fine a control pitcher as there is, averages maybe 2 walks a game, and walks a man tonight, and it cost him the run. For Hiroki, he made 20 pitches in the second inning. His problem was he walked the leadoff man Tulowitzki, and he had to give it up. Strike 2 pitch on the way is inside, ball 1. 1-2 the count to Casey Blake, hitting .253, 3 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Back comes Rogers and misses inside. 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count 2-2. Rogers looks down the barrel. Now skinny right-hander comes back off speed, and it's pulled inside third down the line. So Blake is on away for an extra base hit. He's into second base standing. So the leadoff man is in scoring position with nobody out. So after a couple of pretty good fastballs, Blake got a curveball, and he pulled it over third down the line into the corner. So Blake at second, nobody out, with Martin, DeWitt, and Carroll trying to pick him up. Russell Martin batting .250, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in. During the homestand, he's been struggling. hitting just 138, and he has struck out a half a dozen times. Out of a stretch goes Rogers, looks back to Blake, now comes to his hitter and gets a strike, and the count 0-1. Russell, who knows all about a walk-off clutch hit, had one in Washington to win the ball game. Now just trying to get Blake home to tie it up. 1-0 Rockies, second inning. Rogers set, Ismail delivers, fastball high. He hit 95 on the gun, so he can bring it. 1-1 the count. Rogers reading Olivo, a look back to see what Casey Blake is up to. The pitch to Martin, breaking ball down and away. Swung on and missed with the slider, and the count 1-2. Chacin and Hager tomorrow, and then Ubaldo Jimenez, he of no-hit fame, he on the mound Sunday against Clayton Kershaw. 1-2 the count to Russell Martin. Now Rogers out of his stretch, another look back, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Russell has to pull away. It was right at the knuckles, almost got him, and a 2-2 count. For the Rockies, as we mentioned, they have a lot of people sidelined. Wonderful pitcher like Jorge De La Rosa, but he's got a bad finger, and he's going to be out for a while. They really miss him. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Martin punches it on the ground to the right side. Barnes throws him out. Nice bit of hitting. With 2 strikes, he's able to move his man over to third. And now it's up to DeWitt and or Carroll to bring him home. You know, a reminder, you can now enjoy all they can eat at the beach. Bleacher Beach, open all weekend, includes access to a private beach party, compliments of Bud Light. All weekend, fans will receive a vintage Bleacher Beach t-shirt. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/beach or give us a call, 866-DODGERS. So Carlos Gonzalez moved his man over from second to third. Now Martin moves his man over. The infield up for Colorado. And Blake DeWitt takes a pitch low, ball 1-0. So the Rockies are not only minus Jorge De La Rosa, they're minus the big left-hander, Jeff Francis, who's had a bad shoulder, and their closer has been on the DL. That's Houston Street. So Jim is short-handed, but they're still just 3.5 back of the Giants, who lost, by the way, tonight. The 1-0 pitch swung on and foul back, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Blake DeWitt. DeWitt hitting .296 with 8 runs batted in. Jamie Carroll on deck. 1-0 Rockies in the second. DeWitt hitting .429 during the homestand. Remember, he had that 4-for-4 game. Blake down the line from third. Rogers looks over at him. Now the right-hander comes to the plate way outside. Well, we looked for Kuroda, and we'll look now for Rogers. Rogers has 1 wild pitch. Esmiel backs off the rubber. Now on again as DeWitt in and out of the box. 2-1 the count to the left-hand hitting Blake DeWitt. Rogers out of his stretch, comes back to him, and it's swung on and popped up back of first. And it will be the second baseman Barmes to make the catch. And Casey Blake has nowhere to go but to hang out at third. So DeWitt pops it up. Jamie Carroll coming up with Hiroki Kuroda to follow. Jamie Carroll, just to get a little bit of an insight into him, has been playing almost every day. He has walked 11 and he has struck out 11. Jamie batting .269. He has 1 run batted in, and the first pitch is low, ball 1. He might not see a strike if that is indeed Jim Tracy's plan. Not an intentional walk, but they might hope that he'd go fishing. On deck is Kuroda with 2 out. 1 ball and no strikes. Rogers into his windup, comes back. Carroll promptly bangs it into right field, base hit. So they dared to pitch to him, and he singles to right, and I would bet you dollars to donuts that was a bad pitch. That is not what Jim Tracy wanted, and he's hot. So you have the 8th man coming up with a tying run at third base, and Jim's going to have to walk that off, giving him a fastball up right out over the plate. So a very bad pitch by Esmail Rogers. Dodgers thinks it was a great pitch, and we have a 1-1 tie. So Jamie Carroll comes up with his 2nd RBI of the year, and now here is Kuroda. Totals identical, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for each side. And Rogers delivers fastball low, ball 1. 1-0. Todd Hilton holding a corner over there at first. You don't expect Carroll to be going anywhere with the pitcher at the plate. The 1-0 pitch fouled away. 1-1 the count. So the Rockies got a run in the top of the 2nd. Tulowitzki walked and stole 2nd. Gonzalez grounded him over to 3rd. Stewart's fly ball picked him up. Blake doubles in the 2nd. Martin's ground ball moves him to 3rd. And the 2-out single by Carroll ties up the game as Kuroda swings, doesn't get it, and the count 1-2. Jamie taking his lead, Kuroda waiting. Out of a stretch goes Rogers. Kuroda probably hits one foul into the seats off first base. So far, Hiroki is 0 for 11 with 7 strikeouts. He does have 3 sacrifices. 1-2 the count. We have a 1-1 tie, and we're in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The 1-2 pitch on the way in the dirt, blocked nicely by Olivo, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. We'll repeat the fact that right after batting practice, they broke the news. I think he was kind of aware he'd be eligible. Young John Eli, who pitched so well the other night, was sent down to Albuquerque as Jeff Weaver has come back to join the club. Kuroda hits a little ground ball to Barmes. Clint picks it up and throws him out. But the pitch, that fastball to Jamie Carroll, ties up the game. And at the end of 2, we have a 1-1 tie. As we go to the 3rd inning, the Dodgers and the Rockies meeting for the first time this year. Dodgers wearing out the Rockies Meanwhile, John Eli, we talked about him being sent down. Remember, he had a great game for 6 2/3, struck out Jim Edmonds 4 times, among others. And no doubt the feeling here is he will be back. He'll just go to Albuquerque to sharpen up some more. The first pitch now to Seth Smith. Little high, ball 1. Here's what John did. He went 6 2/3, allowed only 4 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 7 in only his second major league start. The pitch to Seth Smith is up, and we have a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Joe Torre was saying yesterday how tough it is to send people back, especially a kid like Eli who pitched so well last night and then got the news today. The pitch is low, ball 2, 2-1. But of course the numbers game is what it is, and you can only have 25. So Joe had to break the news. Rick Honeycutt had to, no doubt, pat him on the back, say we'll see you soon. And the 2-1 pitch is swung on. Big bounce at Aloney, and he'll take it to the bag. 1 out in the third, 1-1 tie, and the batter will be Dexter Fowler. Fowler grounded out in the first inning. Dexter, switch hitter, kind of a daddy long legs. He's 6'4", about 175 pounds. Doesn't get the first one. Big, full, long swing, and the count 0-1. As a switch hitter, they say he's stronger from the left side, but he first started switch hitting in September of 04 in the Instructional League. That was the first time he had ever hit from the left side. He's naturally right-handed. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fowler fouls it away. When the Rockies made Fowler a switch hitter for bat control, he kind of had a split grip from the left side with his hands separated a couple of inches. Now they're together, which shows he's become far more comfortable. Takes a slow curveball. He's locked in there, and it's strike 3. So Fowler strikes out, and we have 2 down in the third inning. Strikeout number 2 for Hiroki Kuroda. And here's Todd Helton. Helton typically had a 7-pitch at bat in the first inning before he struck out. Into the windup goes Hiroki, and that pitch is swung on and fouled away. 0-1 the count. For Helton, he's changing, of course, as he grows older. He'll be 37 the end of August. The strike 1 pitch on the way is pulled the other way, and the count 0-2. It's been about 5 years since he last hit 20 home runs and had a slugging percentage above 500, but he is still a career leader in on-base performance. One of the toughest outs in the game, I think everybody agrees. Strike 2 pitch on the way. Todd lays off. It's down and away. 1-2 the count. You know, only once since 1999 has Helton reached base in less than 40% of his plate appearances. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Todd swings and strikes out for the second time. Kuroda now has 3 strikeouts, and at the end of 2.5, it's a 1-1 tie. musical chairs. When the day began, the Padres trailed the Giants by a half a game. San Diego beat Houston 7-0, and the Giants had a lead get away and lost 6-4. So San Diego gets back into first place by a half a game. Xavier Paul walked, stole second, stayed there in the first inning. Takes a pitch high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers will have their first look at San Diego next weekend. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and Paul takes inside, ball 2, 2-1. Esmil Rogers has made one bad pitch, upsetting his catcher, not to mention his manager. That was that fastball to Jamie Carroll. Next pitch fouled away by Xavier Paul, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Though the Rockies scored in the second, Tulowitzki walked and stole second. Ground ball got him to third. Fly ball picked him up. Then Blake doubled. Ground ball got him to third. And the 2-out single by Jamie Carroll tied up the game. 2-2 pitch on the way, and that's off the plate. Tried to hit the outside corner. 3-2 the count to Xavier Paul. Rogers nods yes to Miguel Olivo. The 24-year-old delivers, and way out in front of it is Xavier Paul on a great changeup. So Paul strikes out. That's the third strikeout for Esmil Rogers. And with 1 away, the batter is Matt Kemp, who struck out in the first inning. For Esmil Rogers, this is his 6th career appearance in a major league game and his 3rd start. He gets a strike immediately to Kemp, 0-1. He was recalled from AAA Colorado Springs on the 1st of May in San Francisco. His strike 1 pitch on the way. Fastball sliced foul down the right field line, out of play, and the count 0-2. Chacin and Hager tomorrow night, and Jimenez and Kershaw Sunday afternoon. That ought to be something. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way, low and inside just to move Matt off the plate. 1-2 the count. Waiting on deck, Andre Ethier. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way. Rogers works it inside. Ground ball to third. On the run. Bad wide throw. A diving try by Helton. And he misses the diving Kemp. Ian Stewart was on the move with that. Of course, with Matt Kemp's speed, he has all the infielders pressing anyway. And Stewart hurried the play. Matt pulled it over the bag, and Stewart on the run let it fly from foul ground. Wearily pulled Helton off the bag. Todd could not make the tag, and Stewart will draw the throwing error. So it shows you what speed will do to the opposition. And in this case, that's exactly why Kemp is aboard. The tag was too late. Matt's hand was on the bag. So with 1 out, we'll keep an eye on Kemp now as Andre Ethier checks in at the plate. Rogers very, very deliberate, still holding the ball, and Ethier asks for time. So Matt Kemp worried Ian Stewart. Now he's giving Rogers something to think about. Although Matt Kemp is in the red. He has stolen 3, but he's been caught 6 times. I think he was caught 8 times all last year, and a half a dozen already this year. Behind the plate, Miguel Olivo has thrown out 8 of 15, and then Xavier Paul stole second in the first inning. Rogers turns, and Matt has to dive back on the throw to Helton. 1-1, bottom of the third, game 1 of the 3-game series. After Sunday's game, the Dodgers leave for Arizona and San Diego before coming back and opening up with Houston. Now the pitch to Ethier is off the plate, ball 1, 1-0 the count. Andre Ethier was hitting .464 on this homestand till he flied to left field in the first inning. 5 home runs, 13 RBIs just during this stand. The 1-0 pitch is off the plate. Ball 2. James Loney waiting on deck. So the error by Ian Stewart caused by the speed of Matt Kemp. Now Kemp's speed has to bother young Rogers a little bit. Meanwhile, Ethier waits. The 2-0 pitch, there goes Kemp. The pitch, a strike. The throw on a bounce. Too late. And I guess it's true. It's an old expression in baseball. The fact that speed never has a slump. I mean, if you can run, you can run. And Matt Kemp steals his 4th. So the Dodgers now have a tiebreaker at second base with 1 out. 2 stolen bases. And of course, Olivo, angry, he takes it as a personal insult. But you usually steal on the pitcher anyway. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Andre Ethier. Swung on, foul back, and the count 2-2. Ethier, 10 home runs, 30 runs batted in. It's hard to believe other fellows are more successful than Ethier at home. He came into this game hitting .444 at home, and he's 3rd in the league. 2-2 the count. Andre Ethier, 1 out, 3rd inning. We have a 1-1 tie. Kemp at second base, and the 2-2 pitch low at the feet of Ethier, blocked by Olivo, and a 3-2 count. So Miguel Olivo is from Villa Vasquez in the Dominican Republic. He's been around. 32 years old. First came up with the White Sox 8 years ago. So he's trying to help Rogers as best he can. Now the 3-2 pitch to Ethier, swung on, grounded into right field for a base hit. There will not be a play on Kemp, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. Now Andre Ethier, 31 runs batted in as he grounds a single to right. Boy, has he really developed, And I'm sure up in Oakland, every time they pick up a paper and hear what Ethier's doing, it really has to hurt. So 2-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 3rd, and James Loney checks in. James struck out in the first inning. Matt Kemp aboard on an error because of the fact that Stewart hurried. Then Kemp steals second and comes home on the single to right. Loney 0 for 1. Ethier held on by Helton. Andre does not have a stolen base. Right side of the infield wide open now with Helton on the bag. Rogers delivers, and it's low. Ball 1. 1-0 the count. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 2 hits for the Rockies, along with a big error. The throwing error by Ian Stewart, and the Dodgers cashed it in. 1 ball and no strikes. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way. That's taken low, ball 2, 2-0. Stewart has become the regular third baseman for the Rockies. Garrett Atkins started to show signs of going downhill. Garrett is now with Baltimore, not doing much over there. And Stewart hopes to have a long career playing third base. 2 balls and no strikes to count to James Loney. 2-1 Dodgers, 3rd inning. Rogers out of a set. Right-handed delivers, low and away. Ball 3, 3-1. So Loney on a 3-0 count might be given a green light against a rookie pitcher, but instead he takes a high strike around the letters and the count 3-1. And James now taking a look at Larry Bowa. Last year, Loney had 13 home runs. 12 of the 13 hit on the road. It took him something like 78 games before he hit a home run here. This year, he has 2 home runs at home. James fouls the next pitch away, and it's a 3-2 count. So they green light him 3-1. Why not? He's hitting .328. So Rogers had a 1-0 lead. Dodgers tied it. Now the Dodgers have taken a 2-1 lead. Rogers set, a backward glance at Ethier, who has a short lead, but he throws over there anyway. Three and two the count. Right hander ready as Ethier studies and goes, and the 3-2 pitch is fouled away. So they run Ethier with 1 out and a full count. James Loney has only walked 6 times, and he's grounded into 3 double plays. So they had Ethier on the move, and if they did it then, they figured to do it again. Joe Torre has flashed out whatever to Larry Bowa. There goes Ethier, and it's lifted to left field. Seth Smith is there, waiting, makes the catch, and then left hands it back to the infield. You know, Tuesday, May the 18th, Andre Ethier bobblehead night, presented by Bank of America. The first 50,000 fans in attendance will take home their very own Captain Clutch collectible. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS today. A lot of guys on the broadcasting crew figured what they ought to do with Andre Ethier's bobblehead is give it out in the 9th inning or when the game is over. But you can get yours as soon as you arrive. So we have 2 down, Ethier holding it first on Loney's fly ball, and Casey Blake coming up. Blake doubled, pulled the ball just over third base and down the line, and came around to score a run. Casey hitting .261. He has 3 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Rogers out of a stretch. Esmill delivers, and it's low, ball 1, 1-0. For Casey Blake, that hit in the 2nd inning had to feel good. He'd had only 1 base hit during the homestand. He'd been struggling. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way, sprayed foul upstairs off to the right. Pretty good fastball. Blake is 2 for 23 during the homestand. Casey back up to the plate, 1-1 the count. Rogers set, Esmill delivers and moves it off the plate, down and away with the slider, and a 2-1 count. Tomorrow, when Chassin is pitching, he will be facing Manny Ramirez. The 2-1 pitch foul back. That's the plan. Manny played last night at Lake Elsinore, taking it easy tonight, although he did take BP and all that stuff. And he will play tomorrow. And there's Chassin sitting quietly back in the dugout, working on his gum. We'll have plenty of opportunity to see him tomorrow evening against the knuckleballer Charlie Hager. Blake fouls it away. 2-2 the count. So Casey trying to hang tough against a young, hard-throwing right-hander. We'll talk more about him tomorrow night, but Chassin is from Maracaibo in Venezuela. The 2-2 pitch is taken low, ball 3. 3-2 the count to Casey Blake. So they had Ethier going with 1 out. Now they'll have him going, of course, with 2 out. And this will be the 30th pitch made by Esmill here in this inning. There goes Ethier, and there goes the ball. A drive into left center field. Seth Smith runs over and picks it off nicely. So Blake a long out to left center. 1 run, 2 hits, and a big error, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. Right now, Jack in the Box is offering a variety of menu items and letting people choose any 3 for only $3 plus tax. And by your Southern California Ford dealer, where you'll find the new Transit Connect. Check it out at scforddealers.com. Dodgers down 1-0, now take a 2-1 lead. Andre Ethier singles in Matt Kemp to give the Dodgers the early lead as we go to the 4th inning. Troy Tulowitzki walked and scored the run for the Rockies, and ball 1. 1-0. Tulowitzki had a lot of trouble in a lot of places, but not against the Dodgers. A fly ball to left field. Paul misjudged it, and the ball is over his head going to the wall. Tulowitzki into second base. I'm not sure if Xavier lost the ball or what, but he would catch that most of the time, but not this time. Tulo hits the fly ball, and it looked for a moment like Xavier had lost it, and then when he tried to go back, it was over his head and landed at the base of the wall. So for Xavier Paul, he is a work in progress out there in left field, despite the fact he made that wonderful sliding catch on the ball hit by Escobar last night. So a gift double for Tulowitzki. They have the tying run in scoring position, and Gonzalez, Stewart, and Olivo trying to pick him up. Cargo, as they call him, Carlos Gonzalez. 1 ball and no strikes. Gonzalez playing a lot in right field, but remember, Brad Hopp has that place, at least for a while. Gonzalez from Maracaibo in Venezuela. Tulowitzki at second, nobody out. And a little pop fly going out DeWitt. It's going to fall. So here comes Tulowitzki to score. And just like that, the Rockies have tied it up 2-2. So somewhat of a misjudged or lost fly ball in left field, went for a double. And now Gonzalez, a little pop fly, falls to pick him up. And of course, remember, the Dodger go-ahead run was on Stewart's error. Gonzalez last year stole 16 bases for the Rockies. Up there now with Ian Stewart at the plate. 2-2 in the 4th. Gonzalez has stolen 4, but he's been caught 3 times. Ian Stewart, 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in, hitting .279. Throw to first, so they're looking over there. Last year, of all the left-handed hitters in baseball, Ian Stewart had the best batting average against left-handers. He hit .370 against left-hand pitching. Boy, they're really watching Cargo. Another thing, Andre Ethier hit that grand slam last night. When Ian Stewart broke in with the Rockies in 2007, it took him 9 at-bats in the big leagues to hit his first grand slam. 9 at-bats. Off speed, missing, ball 1. Ian from Long Beach, lives in Garden Grove, went to La Quinta High School, committed to USC, then passed up college to turn pro. 1 ball and no strikes. Off the plate, ball 2. Stewart, 6'3", 205-pounder. When he was a college player, just signed, and he came to Colorado to work out, he hit some balls during batting practice that they couldn't believe a kid could hit him that far. He hit him to places where only Larry Walker and Todd Helton hit them. He really caught the eye. 2-0. And ball 3. It's a nice story about Ian Stewart told by Mike Gallego. Mike was the Rockies infield coordinator, and he had the middle infielders in Nashville come out for early work. Stewart came out with ice bags on both knees, and that's ball 4. And so Gallego said, "Hey kid, this is for middle infielders. Corner guys come tomorrow." And here's Stewart with his knees encased in ice, and he said, "I know, but couldn't I just stand out here and maybe learn something?" Well, as Mike Gallego said, right then and there, I knew this kid was special. Ian Stewart. So Kuroda gave up a walk in the 2nd inning, and it cost him a run. Now he gives up another walk in a 2-2 tie. And Miguel Olivo, who shattered his bat and came up with a base hit. What a difference in numbers, hitting at home and on the road. Two on, nobody out. And ball 1. Olivo does not have a sacrifice. He's been involved in 20 games. One ball, no strikes. Ground ball over to short. Carroll quickly to do it and back to first. So they didn't want the catcher to try to sacrifice with the number 8 hitter Barmes coming up. They have him swing away, and he bangs into the double play. For Olivo, that is the 4th double play that he's hit into. So here's Barmes with a runner at 3rd and 2 out. And they will take the bat out of Barmes' hands and go after Rogers. Jim Tracy certainly does not expect a veteran like Kuroda to make the mistake that Esmil Rogers made with Jamie Carroll. He's not Joe Torre is not going to let Barmes look for one of those pitches. He takes the bat right out of his hands. Of course, the one thing, runner at 3rd changes everything, but all the managers love to get that number 8 hitter for the final out. So the next inning begins with the pitcher. But situations demand other ways. So Barmes gets the walk. So Kuroda now has walked 3, although 1 intentionally, a little above his average. Esmail Rogers fouled out to James Loney, 0 for 1. Slider down and away. Interesting that he would start a kid pitcher with a slider. 1 ball and no strikes. Barmes at first, Gonzalez at third, 2 out. 1-1. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of this 4th inning, they'll have Russell Martin, Blake DeWitt, and Jamie Carroll. Meanwhile, Cargo standing at third, Barmes over at first. One and 1. 2-2 tie, top of the 4th. And a look and a strike, 1-2. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Rockies. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. In the dirt. Nice block by Martin. That could have brought a run in. And we told you that Hiroki Kuroda has a couple of wild pitches, 3 to be exact. So Martin has saved a run. And we have a 2-2 count. Barmes at first, Gonzalez at third. Ball 3. Seth Smith on deck. So it's not quite the Kuroda we're accustomed to seeing. Not quite throwing as many strikes as an normally get from him. He's 0-2 in his career against the Rockies. Runner going, fouled away. Pretty good fastball, and Rogers got a little bit of it. Kuroda Sunday against the Pirates went 8. Second time he's done that. He allowed only 1 run and 5 hits. Walked just 1. "3-2 is a ground ball to the hole, backhanded by Carroll, and the throw is just in time. So Rogers thrown out by Jamie Carroll. Rockies get a run, and we're heading to the bottom of the 4th, 2-2. was a 2-out single by Carroll on a bad pitch by the rookie pitcher. Then Matt Kemp, a chopper to third. Ian Stewart in a hurry makes a bad throw. Kemp is safely aboard. He then steals second, and Andre Ethier a base hit to right field, and that gave the Dodgers a 2-1 lead. However, the Rockies came back, and with Tulowitzki leading off with that long fly ball that bothered Xavier Paul, the Rockies tied it up. So 2-2, bottom of the fourth, and it's Russell Martin, then Blake DeWitt and Jamie Carroll. The young right-hander, Esmail Rogers, called up May 1 from Colorado Springs, and here he is. Way inside. Remember, during his first at-bat in the second inning, Rogers almost hit him on the knuckles. So he's trying to keep the ball in on him. 1 ball and no strikes. Now down and away. 2-0 the count to Martin. Russell hitting .247. And 3-0. Waiting on deck, Blake DeWitt. That's in there. 3-1. Rogers began the game against the Dodgers by walking Xavier Paul, leading off in the first inning. Fouled away. Boy, I'll tell you one thing. We're sitting up here directly in line with home plate, and his fastball is really moving. That was almost like a cutter. You could see it jump. 3-2. And he misses inside. So for the Dodgers, in their 4 innings, they've had the leadoff man get on in 3 of the 4, which is not good news for young Rogers. Paul opened up the game in the first inning with a walk. Blake doubled and scored in the second, and now Martin walks in the fourth. In the third inning, Xavier Paul led off and struck out. Here's DeWitt, popped up to second in the second inning, enjoying a big homestand. Talking about enjoying a big homestand, and we have time for the moment, we'd like to extend our congratulations for Los Angeles Times beat writer Dylan Hernandez, whose wife presented him with a daughter, Naomi, on Tuesday, though I doubt if Dylan is here, home with Mrs. Hernandez and his daughter. Pleasant picture. 1 ball and no strikes. Martin, despite the fact he's a grind behind the plate day in and day out, can still run. 1 for 1 in stolen bases. You have DeWitt and then Carroll before Kuroda. Very close. Of course, that's the trick. If you're a base runner, you've never seen the pitcher before, you want to see his best move without getting picked off. One ball and no strikes. So they have a feeling that Martin is going to be running either on his own as a stolen base or even part of a hit and run play. Blake DeWitt has walked a little bit more than he has struck out. We'll see if that means anything. 1-0 the count. In the dirt, short hop by Olivo, new ball put in play. 2-0 the count. Rocky pitching, considering the fact that they've lost Jorge De La Rosa for a while, and also the big left-hander Jeff Francis. They've also been without their closer, Houston Street, and they're still holding their own pretty well. Two and one to count. Now let's see if the Dodgers put a play on. Jim Tracy with his ball club improving in very much areas that had been a bad way to go earlier last year. Remember, they were 45 and 29 after the All-Star break. 2 and 1. Martin goes, hit and run, foul ball down the left field line. 2 and 2. The Rockies staff, the pitching staff, coming in with an earned run average 3.7. Now, it's never been lower than 4.2. So that's a good sign for Tracy's club. Their walks and hits per innings allowed better since the team of 1993. Foul back. With some young, strong arms throwing, they're averaging almost 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. That'd be the second highest in team history. Home runs allowed, third lowest in team history. So they're doing pretty well without the aces. De La Rosa off the plate. Clint Barmes had broken to the bag, and the pitch off the plate. Jorge De La Rosa has to just stand there and watch, and they really miss him. He has a torn tendon in his left middle finger. They say no surgery, so they're hoping he'll come back the end of May, but there are a lot of people who cock their heads and say that's doubtful. There goes Martin on a ground ball to Barmes. So one way or another, they get Barmes busy, and they get Martin to second. One away.
Number 14, Jamie Carroll.
Now in the second inning, there wasn't any reason to go after Carroll with the pitcher due up and 2 out. But now you have the pitcher back of him and 1 out. Jamie singled to right field in the second inning to drive in a run. Jamie has had a great career, played for the Rockies 2 years. Time. Olivo wants to go up and talk to Rogers again. Though Carroll waiting at the plate, and he'll use the time, just looking down to Larry Boa. Carroll spent 2 years with Cleveland and was so consistent. He hit .277 one year, and the next year Jamie hit .276. His career average is .273, and he's hitting .283 right now. We have a 2-2 tie, bottom of the fourth. Carroll trying to untie it, and a strike. 0-1. Two runs, 4 hits for the Rockies. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. 35-year-old Jamie Carroll fouls it away. Carroll was originally signed by Montreal out of the University of Evansville. So he's from the same state as Clint Barmes. Came up with the Expos, then played with the Nationals, the Rockies, the Indians, and here he is. He grew up in a small town, Newburgh, Indiana. That's across the Ohio River from Kentucky. Little roller. Tulowitzki throws him out, makes it look easy. So 2 down. Martin takes third, and the batter now will be Hiroki Kuroda. So Kuroda coming up, trying to untie the ball game. Young Rogers looks over at Jim Tracy and Bob Apodaca for a moment. Now he backs off the rubber. So Kuroda backs out of the box. I guess what they were talking about, do you want to wind up or pitch from a stretch? And the bench hollered pitch from a stretch. Fastball, slow roller, too low. Kind of double clutched and then guns it. And that's it. So the Dodgers get a leadoff walk, but they leave Martin. Tulowitzki gets a couple. And at the end of 4, a 2-2 tie. As we go to the 5th inning in a 2-2 tie, it will be the top of the order for the Colorado Rockies. Seth Smith, Dexter Fowler, and Todd Helton. So that means Kuroda will be facing all left-hand batters in the inning. So Hiroki getting ready. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Rockies. They scored in the 2nd. Dodgers came back with the 1 in the 2nd to tie it up. Then the Dodgers had a run in the 3rd to lead 2-1, only to have the Rockies come back, tie it up 2-2. So Seth Smith grounded to 2nd, grounded to 1st, and the left-hand hitter checks in. Seth Smith last year was a remarkable pinch hitter. Wow. Off-speed breaking ball for a strike. Last year as a pinch hitter, Seth Smith hit .472. He also had 10 walks. And drives one to the gap. Ethier trying to cut it off and does. Smith hits the bag and holds on with a long single. So a line drive single by the Rockies leadoff man. And that'll bring up Dexter Fowler. Smith had 4 stolen bases for the Rockies last year and 1 the year before. So you don't expect a lot of running from him as Fowler checks in. Shows bunt, fouls it off. 0-1 the count to Dexter Fowler. Fowler looking down to Rich Dower. Rich Dower in the third base coaching box for Colorado comes home. I mean, Rich was from San Bernardino and went to school at USC. (0-1) over at first for the Rockies. The pride of Santa Cruz, Glenn Allen Hill, normally at his position. And that's in the dirt, blocked by Martin. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fowler 6'4", about 175. Covers an awful lot of ground with his speed, and that's so necessary in Colorado. His father coached youth baseball, and his mom was an elementary school phys ed teacher. So he's had some good background as he promptly singles. He's going to run on Xavier Paul and steals a base on him. So Dexter embarrassing the young left fielder and takes the extra base.
Batting next, first baseman Todd Helton.
So Smith goes all the way to third on what was a single, and then Fowler was watching Paul, decided to go and made it. So now Kuroda in a lot of trouble. Second and third, nobody out. Just a big high chopper into the hole. And Xavier Paul came up, bobbled the ball, then recovered, looked around. Then by the time he realized Fowler was on the move, he's lost the base. And a strike to Todd Helton. So pull up a chair and make yourself comfortable as Helton is at the plate. Oh, and 1. Helton has 6 runs batted in. He has Smith at third, Fowler at second, nobody out. And promptly lines it, and what a play by Casey Blake. Whoa. So Todd Helton looked like a base hit and maybe 2 RBIs, and Casey at the glove. 1 away. Boy, that's a huge play. So Helton losing a hit, an RBI. The Rockies lose a possible lead, but Kuroda is not out of the mess. He's got Tulowitzki and Gonzalez. Tulo has walked and doubled. And ball 1. Tulowitzki, as a shortstop, is a big man. You don't expect shortstops to really be as big as he is. He's 6'3", 210 pounds. How good is he? Well, his rookie year, he was absolutely brilliant defensively. 1-1. He led all major league shortstops in fielding. He did it without giving up range, because he also led all major league shortstops in total chances, assists, putouts, double plays. In fact, he was the first rookie to do all those things since Ozzie Smith in 1993. And to top it off, in the heat of a pennant race with the Rockies, a historic closing win streak, the rookie shortstop made only 11 errors all year. And he didn't make an error in the last 31 games, when the pressure would get a lot of kids. That rookie year, Troy's fielding percentage was .987. That's the best all time for a rookie shortstop. But I think of, people like Pee Wee Reese, Rafael Furcal, not big 200-pounders, but what a job. Now he has runners at second and third as he tries to break a 2-2 tie. 1-2. Just did hold up on a slider off the plate, and the count 2-2. Troy from Santa Clara, lives in Sunnyvale up north, but went to school down here at Long Beach State. He really tucks underneath that shoulder, doesn't he? So Martin and Kuroda put their heads together with first base open. Tulowitzki with 1 home run, 13 runs batted in, and hitting in the cleanup spot. Interesting in looking at the Rockies ball club, they do not have a home run yet from the number 3 hitter. That's Helton. They have just 1 home run in the cleanup spot, and that's Tulowitzki. 2-2. Big breaking ball off the plate. That slider sailed like half of a tennis ball turned inside out. 3-2 the count to Troy Tulowitzki. On deck, Carlos Gonzalez. Three and two. Fastball foul back. Carlos Gonzalez waiting on deck. Last year hit .286 with 11 home runs against right-hand pitching. Tonight he is grounded out and single to right. 3-2. So back-to-back left-hand hitters behind Tulo, Gonzalez and Stewart. Three and two. Off the rubber. Tulowitzki has struck out 20 times and walked 9. And it's up for ball 4. So this is a rare day. Kuroda has walked 4, admittedly one of them intentionally, and Honeycutt going out to talk to him, as Carlos Gonzalez will be coming up. The boy from Maracaibo in Venezuela, who was signed by the Diamondbacks and finally made his debut in the big leagues with the Oakland A's, and then came here in the deal that sent Matt Holliday to the Bay Area. They look at this kid, and a lot of people compare him now to Carlos Beltran for his overall ability, and most people say he is a star in the making. He's 24, and he can do it all. In fact, how about this? A Mobile manager said, if you're going to try to compare Gonzalez to a player, we've talked to him being similar to Bobby Abreu. He's got power, he can run, he's a good glove, he's got a great arm, he can do it all. And you know who said that? Brett Butler. So here he is, young cargo as they call him, and the cargo is full with Messrs. Smith, Fowler, and Tulowitzki out there on the lines. He's hitting .320. Checks up, they look at third, swing, says Paul Emmel. 0-1 to count to Gonzalez. With the A's, a rookie year, he had 4 home runs, 26 runs batted in. The first 7 hits of Gonzalez's career were all extra base hits. That's rather remarkable, isn't it? In fact, so much remarkable, he did it in '08. And he was the first player to have the first 7 hits of his career go for extra bases since Hall of Famer Johnny Mize back in 1936. No wonder he caught everybody's eye. Fouled away. 1-2. Johnny Mize, who played for a year with the Cardinals, the Giants, finished up his career with the New York Yankees, and had the nickname the Big Cat. Then years later, the Rockies had another big cat, Andres Galarraga. For Gonzalez, he's 6'1", 200-pounder. Left-handed all the way. hammered down the line, but hooking foul. Though he's still up there, 1-2. We told you he had 11 home runs against right-hand pitching last year. Last year in August, Gonzalez was picking up his plate to put it in the sink at home. A knife fell off. He instinctively reached to catch it and grab the blade. He had a deep cut that required a couple of stitches. A high fly ball to left field and deep. Xavier Paul on the track. All the runners tag up and they all move up. So Smith scores, Fowler to third, Tulowitzki to second. So Gonzalez cranks up the merry-go-round and picks up a run batted in and moves everybody up. Boy, that ball carried too. By the time Xavier Paul got under it, he had 1 foot on the warning track. So the Rockies now in a seesaw game. They led 1-0. Dodgers tied it. Dodgers led 2-1. Rockies tied it. Now Rockies lead 3-2. And here's Ian Stewart with 2 out and a runner at third and second. And the right-hand hitting catcher Olivo coming up. So they'll take the bat out of Stewart's hand and walk him intentionally. But still, that's 5 walks given up by Kuroda and Olivo in the on-deck circle. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of this 5th inning, they'll have Xavier Paul, Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier. So Stewart gets the walk. Then you have Tulowitzki at second. You have Fowler at third. And here's Olivo, shattered his bat, had an infield single in the 2nd inning, came up and banged into a double play in the 4th. Olivo would be 32 in July, signed by the A's, but came up with the White Sox. He's got some sock. Last year with the Royals, he had 23 home runs. He has 5 this year. And a strike. You may remember there was a pitcher in the major leagues, Chichi Olivo, a cousin to Miguel's father. Another cracked bat, I'll be darned. Blake picks it up and throws him out, and the bat in 2 paces just up along the first base foul line. Second time now Olivo has had the bat sawed off, but the Rockies still get 1. And walk-off home runs last year, most ever by a Dodger in one season. But whose record did he break? Give you the answer in a while. Andre will be hitting third in the inning, and Xavier Paul starts it off against Esmil Rogers. Hard-throwing splinter. Built like a 2-iron. 1 ball and no strikes. Last night we were commenting on the passing of a wonderful guy and a great pitcher, Hall of Famer Robin Roberts. And we mentioned the fact that Robin, in his great career, about 19 years, gave up 506 home runs, the most ever, still went into the Hall of Fame. That's going to be hit into right center for a base hit. There's nobody there. So Xavier Paul is on his way for 2, and the tying run is out there with nobody out. A double to the gap for Paul. Anyway, we also mentioned that Jamie Moyer of the Phillies at 47 had allowed 498 home runs and might very well break Robin Roberts' record. Well, not today. Jamie Moyer pitched a shutout over the Atlanta Braves. He becomes the oldest pitcher in big league history to throw a shutout. Phil Necro was 46 years, and Moyer is 47. So a little footnote to history. All right, here's Kemp. Struck out, reached on an error, stole a base, scored a run. Fouled away. 0-2. Matt hitting .282, 7 home runs, 20 runs batted in. He's been struggling, they all do. No balls, 2 strikes. Paul at second, the tying run, nobody out. That's fouled away. Rockies pushed around by the Dodgers. The Dodgers last year beat them 7 out of 9 here and 7 out of 9 in Colorado to go 14-4. 0-2. That's going to go foul down the line, out of play. Good off-speed pitch. Three runs, 6 hits for the Rockies, 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers, who have not been retired in order in 5 innings. Rockies have been retired in order twice, and yet they've left 8 men. Fastball fouled off. Still 0-2. So if you joined us late, Rockies led 1-0. Dodgers came back and tied it in the second. Dodgers got a run in the third to lead 2-1. Rockies tied it up in the fourth, 2-2. Rockies take the lead 3-2 in the fifth, and the Dodgers trying to pick up Xavier Paul now to tie it up again. 0-2. Slider, ball 1. In the dirt, blocked by Olivo. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last year, the Rockies pitching staff had the best year in team history. They had 94 so-called quality starts. And that was another encouraging note for management. 2-2 the count. High fastball. It was probably ball 3. Matt chases it. Down he goes. So Paul holds on at second. Take a look at the location. Up there and away. So way out of the strike zone. So Matt goes back to the dugout, sadder and wiser, and the batter is Andre Ethier. 1 out, a runner at second base. Ethier flied to left and singled to right. And a drive to right down in the corner at the bullpen gate, off the gate. And it will be a double for Andre Ethier to tie up the game. So Andre is single on a double, and the Dodgers even again. That thing wound up below the knees. He went down to get it. That beautiful swing. And it's going to wind up hitting the base of the bullpen gate. Right about there. So Ethier has knocked in 2. It's a 3-3 tie. Now James Loney, who has struck out and flied to left at the plate. Fastball for a strike. When the Rockies come up in the 6th inning, they'll have Clint Barmas, then they'll have Rogers the pitcher, and Seth Smith. Dodgers have 3 doubles, half of their hit. Foul ball, 0-2 the count. Dodgers will go to Colorado at the end of the month. It's a nice time to go to Colorado. May 28th, 29th, and the 30th. Oh, 2 the count to Loney. 1 out. Game tied 3-3. Casey Blake hitting back Loney. In at the hands, ball 1. And again, that fastball, a little move. It's not a cutter. It's just a natural move. But boy, sitting up here, that thing is really jumping. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Rockies. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. That's in there. Loney knows it and walks away. Fastball. And high above 95, too. Randy Flores, a left-hander, begins to loosen up now behind Rogers, who had made 83 pitches going into the 5th inning. He now has made 99 pitches, so he's right on the edge of coming out. But he has to get Casey Blake to come out even. Casey has doubled and lined out. He's hit 2 balls very hard. He also made a huge catch of a line drive by Helton with runners at second and third and nobody out in the 5th inning. If that ball goes by, the Rockies might have had at least a 3-run inning instead of a 1-run inning. 1-0. And a line drive off the glove of Barmas into center, and here comes the run, and the Dodgers now take the lead 4-3. That looked like it was going to go right into Barmas' glove, and it exploded on contact. I think Clint feels he should have held on to it. Right at him, right off the glove. So Casey Blake has hit the ball very hard all 3 times. Went off the fingertips more than the middle of the glove. Either way, the Dodgers are thrilled to have it. And it's 4-3 Dodgers. So now the batter is Russell Martin, who has grounded out and walked. It'll be a base hit. Too hot to handle for sure. Jim Tracy down in the dugout looked a little surprised, to say the least, when that ball got away from Barmas. Down on the field, it probably just suddenly sailed on Clint. You have the feeling he'll make that play most of the time. He's still shaking his head about it. And there's Jim, restless, arms folded, now moving around. 1 ball and no strikes. And that's a wild pitch, and it's lost by Olivo. It was also lost by Casey Blake. He couldn't see it. And then finally, when Olivo broke to go get it, then Casey moved on to second, where he has a chance to talk to Clint Barmas. It'll be a wild pitch. Backhanded effort by Olivo, and it went right between his legs. So the Dodgers 4 runs, 6 hits. The Rockies 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. Blake now in scoring position, and Martin trying to pick him up. Russell hitting .247. And 3-0. You have the left-hand hitter Blake DeWitt coming up. Tracy pacing in the dugout, has a left-hander in the bullpen, but I think he'd really like to start the next inning with Randy Flores, not bring him in with Blake DeWitt. And they let Martin swing 3-0, fouls it away. Russell back up. Casey Blake taking his lead at second base. And that's a ground ball base hit. Here comes Blake. Up with it is Gonzalez. Throw to the plate is not in time. And the Dodgers lead 5-3 as Martin singles to right. And for Jim Tracy, he is still thinking about that line drive that got away from Clint Barmas. So now Jim Tracy is heading for the mound. As we said, his plan was to bat for right-hander Rogers and bring in Randy Flores. But they have forced his hand. He takes the ball away from the young right-hander, and we'll be right back. Cost him a run. And then, of course, that line drive that got away from Barmas wrecked him completely. So he has to come out, and they give the ball to Randy Flores. For Randy, he's from Bellflower and Pico Rivera. He went to school at USC. You know, about 8 years ago, the two best pitchers in baseball were Randy Johnson and Curt Schilling. That year, Randy Flores made 2 starts, and the opposing starters in the 2 games all together. Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling. What a way to break in. Randy's an even 6, 190. Randy signed back in 1997 with the Yankees. He'll be 35 the end of July. Ball 1. When Randy was at SC, he was selected by the Cardinals, but he stayed in school for his senior year and became the winningest pitcher in USC school's history. That's popped in the air, foul. Coming over is Ian Stewart, and that's that. However, the Dodgers score 3 times, and at the end of 5, lead 5-3. Then flew down here and had that marvelous exhibition game honoring Roy Campanella in the Coliseum. 93,000 in attendance, and that was Roy Campanella's number backwards. His number was 39. By the way, Dodgers won in the afternoon, then lost at night for Campy. Let's go back to this one. And I guess if I live to be whatever, I will never forget Pee Wee Reese wheeling Roy Campanella out to the mound. And then in the 5th inning of that game, they turned out all the lights. They asked the fans to light matches, cigarette lighters, whatever. And it was like being inside a huge jewel box with all the jewels. Ground ball hard. Blake, another dazzling stop to get him. Whoa, Casey's on fire with the glove, and he has also hit the ball very hard all 3 times. So he's 2 for 3 with the bat, and he is certainly 2 for 2 with the gloves. Once going to his left, now going to his right. 1 away. That would have been an extra base hit. So 1 down, and E.Y. Jr. coming up to bat for Flores. E.Y.'s son checking in at the plate, hitting .280, 3 runs batted in. Big chopper inside first, down the line. So for Kuroda, he was saved an extra base hit, but now he probably gives it up, and it's going to be a triple standing up for Eric Young. So E.Y. checking in at the plate. He is 25 years old at the end of this month. Looks so much like his dad. born in New Jersey. Remember, his father went to Rutgers. So EY, a double to right after Casey Blake took a double away from Barmas. Young can play, well, like his dad. He can play a little second base. He can play the outfield. So now with one out, they try to pick up EY. Seth Smith, 2 ground balls and a little fly ball single to right. Oh, and 1. And that's going to be hit into left center, base hit. So Young brings in the run, and the Dodger lead is 5-4. Boy, this is a dandy of a ball game, isn't it? So Smith, 2 for 4, has scored 1 and knocked in 1. And Dexter Fowler coming up. And now Honeycutt going out to talk to Kuroda again. It's been a struggle. He's allowed 4 runs, 8 hits. He's been saved defensively. And remember, he's really had to pitch tough. Rockies have left 8 men on in the first 5 innings. So Jeff Weaver, who's just been reinstated, along with left-handed George Sherrill in the pen. Fowler, the switch hitter, and then you have the left-hander Todd Helton back of him. So Kuroda had made 89 pitches through 5 innings, and now he's given up 2 hits, saved from a double, and he's made 95 pitches right now. In looking at Hiroki's work for the Dodgers, especially this early, you look at the pitch count. His first 3 starts, he was over 100, the top's 106. The last 2, 87, 96. Fowler, a drag bunt. Who's going to get it? Kuroda throws, and he throws it into right field. And Fowler's going to go to second. The ball is finally picked up by Blake DeWitt and run back. And there are runners at second and third for Colorado. It'll be an error charged to Hiroki Kuroda just to add to his other problems. And now second and third, 1 out, and Todd Helton coming up. Boy, did he ever lay it down, stayed on the grass, and Kuroda trying to sidearm one, threw it by Loney into right field. So DeWitt finally runs it down. Second and third, 1 out. The tying run, of course, is now Smith at third, and a go-ahead run, Dexter Fowler. So with Weaver and Sherrill in the pen, and the left-hander Helton coming up, it looks like Joe would bring in Sherrill to face Helton. And just to give you something to think about, Helton is 0 for 3 against Sherrill. For Kuroda, he's going to come out leading 5-4, and he has gone 5 innings, so he could win it, he could lose it, or he could have nothing to do with it. And we'll be back. head with Todd Helton. Helton is 0 for 3, struck out twice, and then was robbed of an extra base hit on a diving catch by Casey Blake. Big breaking ball, ball one. Helton saying that he is really working on a technical part of his at-bats. No home runs, 6 RBIs. Big slow breaking ball strike. So Seth Smith 90 feet away, the tying run. Dexter Fowler at second base, a go-ahead run. And George Sherrill trying to get an out. And a high fly ball into right center. It'll be Matt Kemp for the catch. Kemp will throw to third. Fowler is over, and scoring is Smith to tie it up. So Helton picks up a run batted in with a long fly ball to center. And Troy Tulowitzki, the batter. And of course the throwing error on the bunt by Hiroki really set it up. Helton all smiles in the dugout as he comes up with a big RBI. And Joe Torre now with a right-hand batter. Tulowitzki will be looking for the man who's just been reinstated, just off the DL with the sore back, remember, Jeff Weaver, and we'll be back.
Attention, please. Now coming in a pitch for the Dodgers.
Is off the hook, but it also means that Hiroki Kuroda can't win, and it's up to Weaver to keep that tiebreaker away. Dexter Fowler at third base. 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Rockies. And here is Jeff Weaver. Just came off, and it was announced after batting practice. Young pitcher John Eli figured to be sent out, and out he went. And Jeff suddenly is introduced in a tie game with a runner at third and Troy Tulowitzki at the plate. One of the things to impede the Rockies so far in the early going, they've been striking out approximately 14% more than the average National League team with men in scoring position. So let's see about Tulo. Ball one. On deck, the left-hand hitter, Carlos Gonzalez, Cargo. One ball and no strikes. That's a strike. Weaver missed 14 games with a low back strain, and the first guy he faces is Troy Tulowitzki, hitting .301 with a tiebreaker at third base. Nice way to come back. 1-1. Way off the plate. 4 left-hand hitters and a switch hitter in the lineup for the Rockies tonight. 2-1. And ball 3. 3-1. Coming in with a runner at third. A lot of pressure on Weaver and Martin. Down the line, Dexter Fowler. And ball 4. So Tulowitzki walks for the third time. He's 1 for 1. That was a double to left. And now the batter will be Carlos Gonzalez. Grounded out, single to right, and had a scoring fly ball. Gonzalez batting .320, 3 home runs, 22 runs batted in. And a slow roller to DeWitt. Makes a nice pick and gets him. So Weaver does a good job. Walks Tulowitzki and gets Gonzalez, leaving a go-ahead runner at third. And at the end of 5.5. Line drive off the bat of Casey Blake and off the glove of Clint Barmes. And that helped the Dodgers enjoy a 3-run inning. Clint, of course, sure that he should have caught it, but it was too hot to handle. So 5-5 in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Matt Daly, born in Queens, New York, signed by the Rockies 6 years ago, will pick up. Went to school at Bucknell. Last year he had a look at the big leagues, and now he's up again. For Daly, when he was a freshman in high school, he was 5'1", and he weighed 95 pounds. Boy, did he have a growth spurt. He is now 6'2" and about 180. So Matt will be pitching to Jamie Carroll. Reed Johnson is on deck to bat for Weaver, and Ramon Troncoso in the Dodger bullpen. Jamie Carroll, single, grounded out, 1 for 2, run batted in. That's ball 1. That's a little high, ball 2, 2-0 the count. Tom House former big league pitching coach, worked a lot with Daly, changing everything about his delivery. He sneaks that in there. It was in 2006 when he went into that squatty stance out there and a slightly lowered delivery to ease the strain on his arm. A little unusual. And that's fouled away, 2-2. Daly said that the Rockies minor league coaches were all over him about it, but he explained, this is what I'm going to do, and I'll explain why. In Double-A, that's when he blossomed into a solid, reliable reliever. And here he is in the big leagues. However, when he got to the big leagues, he had his share of adversity. Fastball, sliced foul out of play. Houston Street counseled him by saying, hey, the true test for a young player is adversity. Made his debut in Denver in April last year. And he gave his mom and dad the ball from the first batter he faced, whom he struck out. On the hands, pulled down the line, fair ball. So Jamie Carroll on his way to second base. So every inning, one team or the other has somebody out there as the tying run, and we're 5-5. So Reed Johnson will now be the batter for Weaver. Just inside the chalk. So Jamie is 2 for 3. So Daly gives up a big hit. Dodgers have 8 hits. The Rockies have 9, and they're locked in at 5. Here's Johnson. Reed hitting .245. Last year, right-handers hit only .206 against Daly. The bunt up along third. The play is to first in time to help him. And on the sacrifice, Jamie Carroll moves to third. So a nice at-bat for the veteran Reed Johnson to come up and lay one down.
Left fielder, Xavier Paul.
Now, Xavier Paul, who has walked and doubled, scored one. He'll be coming up. Had trouble with a double over his head. He also kind of bobbled a base hit. That led to a double for Dexter Fowler, but he answered with the double in the 5th inning. So Reed off the bench, moves his man along. That means Colorado has to play the infield up with Carroll at third, 1 out, 5-5 in the 6th inning. And that's a strike. So the starting pitchers have nothing to do with it. Kuroda and Rogers, Sherrill and Weaver, now Flores and Daly. Oh, 0-2 the count to Xavier Paul, hitting .286 with a run batted in. He had an older brother, Matt, who was signed by the Dodgers. Didn't make it as a player, and he's now a scout. Oh, 0-2 with Carroll at third, 1 out. Got him. A big at bat, and Paul loses the chance to get the Dodgers out in front. And the batter now will be Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp has struck out twice and reached on an error. 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Rockies. 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. The first of 18 between these two. Fastball strike. Taking a look at Matt Daly's numbers. His earned run average is .6. He has 12 strikeouts now, 7 walks. 0-1. Off speed and low. A little 70-some-odd mile-an-hour slider. Daly basically fastball, breaking ball, and changeup. 1-1. Ball 2. Last year, Daly suffered a freak injury in the 7th inning. He was running to back up at home plate, stepped on Freddie Sanchez's bat, sprained his left foot. The umpire, Bill Welke, had unintentionally kicked the bat into Daly's path. That's fouled away. 2-2 the count. Down in the Rockies bullpen, Joe Beimel, the ex-Dodger, begins to warm up. The pride of St. Mary's in Pennsylvania. But right now it's Daly. It'll be Stewart, Olivo, Barmes, and Daly's spot when the Rockies come up in the 7th inning. 2-2 to Matt Kemp. On the hands, a fly ball, trouble. Here comes Fowler. It's going to land and roll behind him. Now Kemp is all the way to third. Carroll has brought in the run, and the Dodgers lead 6-5 on a dunker to right center. Carlos Gonzalez and Dexter Fowler on the dead run. And when the ball left the bat, you thought, well, that's going to be caught. But Fowler couldn't get it, neither could Gonzalez. And the Dodgers get a big break, leading 6-5. Kemp winds up with a triple. And now Andre Ethier, but hold everything. It'll be Joe Beimel pitching to Andre Ethier because Jim Tracy is gone out. So with Beimel in the pen, and the Dodgers leading 6-5, Daly comes out, Beimel comes in, and we'll be back. Andre Ethier and his 4 walk-off home runs last year, most ever by a Dodger in one season. And we were wondering, would you know whose record did he break? Joe Ferguson, the Dodger catcher and outfielder, who had 3 way back in 1980. So Andre Ethier with a half a dozen, Duke Snider and Gil Hodges with 7 walk-off home runs. And now he'll be facing Joe Beimel. So Beimel, the veteran, in his 11th game, pitched for the Dodgers, if you remember, 06, 7, and 8. They originally started with the Pirates, went to Minnesota, Tampa Bay, then Washington, and finally Colorado last year. Matt Kemp is at third, 2 out, and Beimel facing Andre Ethier. And there's a ground ball to Clint Barmes, 1 pitch for the out. They leave Kemp at third, but the Dodgers scratch for 1. And at the end of 6, 6-5 Dodgers. Casey Blake showing he can go to his left and to his right. To his left, taking hits away from Todd Helton. To his right, taking a dandy away from Clint Barmes. Casey Blake with the bat has also had a big night. A line drive double, a line drive out, and another line drive single. So he has scored twice. He's probably saved at least 2 or 3 runs defensively. And the Dodgers, with all of it, lead 6-5. Reed Johnson, who sacrificed in the 6th inning, will stay in the game, bat 9th, play left field. So Troncoso is in Xavier Paul's spot. And Ramon ready to pitch to Ian Stewart, 0-1. Six runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers, 5 runs, 9 hits for the Rockies. Stewart has not been up officially. Right. He had the scoring fly ball, and he has walked twice. Ian hitting .279, 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Overhand breaking ball puts him away, 1 down. You know, this Mother's Day, give the gift of Dodger baseball with a ticket to My Town. Fans receive a free Dodger Town Mother's T-shirt, all-inclusive food options, and $2 from each ticket will be donated to Think Cure. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/MyTown or call 866-DODGERS. Miguel Oliva. It is no surprise to see the Dodgers go to the bullpen unless you've been in Guam for the last month. The Dodgers using 3 relievers tonight. That means they have used 98 relief pitchers in 29 games so far. 98. for Troncoso, a workhorse coming out of that pen. Troncoso is in his 18th game. So he's been in 18 of the 29. And he is 3-0 to Olivo with Clint Barmes on deck. 6-5 Dodgers, top of the 7th. 1 out. That's down the pipe. And ball 4. So Olivo goes to first.
Rockies second baseman, number 12, Clint Barnes.
Clint Barmes coming up. Single to left, was walked intentionally, and then lost an extra base hit as he hit one almost over third base, and Casey Blake took it away from him. Ryan Spilborghs comes out on deck to bat for Joe Beimel. Barmes had that line drive burn his glove up around the tips. That was a big play. The ball hit by Casey Blake. Clint batting .236, 1 home run, 12 runs batted in. And that's a strike. 0-2. Interesting thing about the Rockies, at least in the first 28 games they played, they do very, very well the first 3 innings of a game. Batting average about .313. There's a hopper to short. Carroll goes to Blake DeWitt. That's all they get. Nice rolling slide to break up the double play by Olivo. Anyway, they hit over .313 in the first 3 innings of a game. The middle innings, they go down to about .272, and then from the 7th inning until the end of the game, the Rockies are hitting .185. 185. Now again, it's only 28 games, but that's the way they've been playing. So now here's Ryan Spilborghs batting for Joe Beimel. 6-5 Dodgers, 7th inning. Ryan Spilborghs from Santa Barbara went to UC Santa Barbara. He is very much of a first pitch hitter if it's right around the plate. And off the glove, deflected to short, no play. Do you know what Spilborghs was hitting on the first pitch in his career? It was .468, and he gets a base hit. So 2 on, and Seth Smith coming up. So Troncoso now in a little bit of a jam, a walk and an infield single. So coming off the bench, 2 Rockies pinch hitters. Eric Young Jr. tripled, Ryan Spilborghs singles, and here's Smith 2 for 4. Scored 2, knocked in 1. And a strike. 0-1 to Seth. Seth's out of Jackson, Mississippi. He was one of Eli Manning's backup quarterbacks for 3 years at Ole Miss. Never took even 1 single snap. Talk about being frustrated. Nice block by Martin. Seth is 6'3", 225. He had 15 home runs last year for the Rockies. And you had Todd Helton, was a backup to Peyton Manning. So there's a connection there. Both men made wise decisions to go to baseball. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a line drive right at Loney. So the Dodgers catch a break. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. And at the end of 6.5, 6-5 Dodgers. Seventh inning, 6-5 Dodgers, and Matt Belisle will be the 5th pitcher for Colorado. Rogers, Flores, Daly, Beimel, and Matt. He's out of McAllen, Texas. Lives in Austin and gets a strike on James Loney. Matt's a big boy, 6'3", 230, and he'll be 30 years old in June. 1-1. Originally, Matt Belisle was signed by the Braves. Loney has struck out twice, flied to left. 26 years old today. And hard ground ball, nice pick by Clint Varmus. 1 away. So the batter now, Casey Blake, who has really had himself a game tonight. Every ball he has hit been right on the button, and he has made two dazzling plays at third, one going to his left on a ball hit by Helton, and one going to his right on a ball hit by Barmes. And a strike. Matt Belisle was the second round pick for the Braves. Would have been first, but he tore a knee ligament before he signed. Hard worker. They say he's the first guy in the ballpark and the last to leave. He's also big on scuba diving. 1-1. He has his certificate too. That's fouled away. 1-2 the count. For Belisle, fastball, curveball, and changeup. Manny Corpus is the closer now. Check swing, dribbler. Belisle is on it and takes care of Casey Blake. Because Houston Street is still sidelined, he's had shoulder stiffness. They say he's making strides, should throw a bullpen session this week, and they're hoping that Houston Street would be back in the middle of May. So in the meantime, Belisle tries to set up for Manny Corpus. Corpus has done very well, an ERA of just 1.6. Russell Martin grounded out, walked, and then had a key base hit in the fifth inning. Ground ball to Barmes, backhanded, and that'll be that. Nice innings work for Matt Belisle on 3 ground balls, and quickly at the end of 7, 6-5 Dodgers. After the All-Star game last year, 45-29, and if they're going to go anywhere this year, Jim Tracy will really need another late rush. The reason why, the Rockies will play 10 of their final 16 games on the road, and 13 of those will be against teams that won at least 88 games last year. You know, last year, Rockies had the National League's second best home record, but they were only one game over 500 away from Coors Field. And for the Rockies coming into this game, they're 7-5 at home, 7-9 on the road. So Dexter Fowler starts it for a strike. Dexter is grounded out and struck out, doubled, and reached on Kuroda's error after the bunt single. Slow freight in there. 0-2. Curveball in the 70s. No balls, 2 strikes. Ramon Troncoso, 4th Dodger pitcher, 3rd reliever. Hung-Chi Kuo is throwing in the Dodger bullpen. And down goes Fowler, striking out a second time. So 1 out in the 8th inning, and the batter will be Todd Helton. You know, voting is now open for the All-Star game. You can send your favorite Dodger to this year's Midsummer Classic. You can vote up to 25 times at Dodgers.com, and you could win tickets to an Under the Lights event later this year. So vote today at Dodgers.com/vote. Strike to Helton. Helton is struggling, hitting .275, but the big thing with Todd, no home runs. And he lifts a fly ball to left. Reed Johnson is there. So when your number 3 hitter is without a home run, and the Dodger number 3 hitter has 10 home runs, it's a vast difference. And Helton fit to be tied. It's maddening, of course, to be as good a hitter as he has always been, and all of a sudden it's more difficult. Of course, you don't like to bring up the subject, but he'll be 37. And here's Tulo. Strike. Tulowitzki walked, stole a base, scored a run, doubled, scored a run, and then walked twice. So 3 walks, and he's 1 for 1, hitting .301. That's another thing. We mentioned it earlier. You look at the Rockies lineup, the number 3 and 4 hitter together, 1 home run. Waiting on deck, Carlos Gonzalez, who bats 5th. 1-1. They're going to check. No swing, says Bill Hahn. 2-1 to Troy Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki last year had 32 home runs. That's a strike. 32 home runs, 92 runs batted in. Two and 2. Fouled that breaking ball away. Tulowitzki had 8 home runs in 2008, and then last year 32. Boy, you talk about somebody really improving overnight. He'll be 26 in October, so he'll be playing for the Rockies quite a while. 2-2. Little nubber down to get it is Troncoso, and that'll be that. 1-2-3 inning, and at the end is 7.5. Dodgers 6, Rockies 5. as Ramon Troncoso has done a good job pitching the last 2 innings. Here in the bottom of the 8th, DeWitt, Carroll, and Reed Johnson against Matt Belisle. 0-2. Rockies scored top of the 2nd. Dodgers came back to tie. Dodgers scored in the bottom of the 3rd. Rockies came back in the top of the 4th to tie 2-2. Rockies came up with a run in the 5th. Dodgers came back with 3 to lead 5-3. Rockies came up with 2 to tie at 5-5. Dodgers came back with 1 to lead 6-5. And here we are in the 8th inning. I remember years ago they took a survey, a lot of fans, as to what's your favorite score, what kind of a game. Little ground ball to Helton, so that'll be an out. And most people said a 6-5 game where the home team pulls it out in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the 6th run tonight started off with a shot down the line for a double from Jamie Carroll. And then Matt Kemp hit one, a near collision out there in right center. Then for a triple, Carroll scored. Kemp did not. And that's it. 6-5 Dodgers, bottom of the 8th inning. Tomorrow night, Chacin and Hager. Ulisse against Charlie. Chacin is Chacin from Venezuela. And then Sunday, the featured game of our attraction for sure. Fly ball, Dexter Fowler. 2 down. And Reed Johnson coming up. Clayton Kershaw, who is watching Chad Billingsley right now. But everybody will be watching Clayton on Sunday, and he goes up against Ubaldo Jimenez, who has been so good it takes your breath away. Jimenez is 6-0, an earned run average of 0.8. Jimenez has struck out 44 in 41 innings. So he'll be on display on Sunday. He had that overpowering game, the no-hitter, and really worked hard. He made 128 pitches when he pitched that no-hitter. Still 1-2 to Reed Johnson. Waiting for that to be retrieved. One and 2 to Reed Johnson. Giants lost. Padres won. Padres go back into first place by a half a game. Fastball fouled away. Belisle throwing nice and easy, hits 91 on the gun. So it's been Rogers, Flores, Daly, Beimel, and Belisle, Kuroda, Sherrill, Weaver, Troncoso, and guess who's in the bullpen? 1 and 2. Breaking ball in the dirt. When the Rockies come up in the 9th inning, they'll have Cargo, better known as Carlos Gonzalez, a left-hand batter. Then they'll have Ian Stewart, the third baseman, a left-hand batter. And then they'll have the catcher, Miguel Olivo, unless they go for a hitter. Fouled into the crowd, the paid attendance tonight, 40,567. 40,567. Two balls and 2 strikes the count. Johnson sacrificed in the 6th inning and looks at strike 3. All right, 8 innings in. Dodgers 6, Rockies 5. Big Jonathan getting ready. And we go. The Dodgers rely on Jonathan Broxton to get the 3 outs in the 9th inning. He couldn't do it last night when he allowed 4 singles to tie up the game, but then Andre Ethier took care of that in the bottom half. For Big John, he comes in 2-0, earned run average of 1.8, and his strikeout to walk ratio tremendous. He has walked 1 batter while striking out 16. Carlos Gonzalez, followed by Ian Stewart, and then Miguel Olivo. Tonight they've been celebrating the 60s, and there was a rather interesting game played this date in the 60s, 1960. Norm Sherry, a replacement catcher, hit a home run in the 11th inning, and his brother, relief pitcher Larry Sherry, got the victory against the Philadelphia Phillies. So here is Carlos Gonzalez, grounded out single at a scoring fly ball and grounded out, and this ball 1. So Broxton is the 4th reliever tonight. Sherrill, Weaver, Troncoso, and now Jonathan. So the Dodgers have now used 99 pitchers out of the bullpen in 29 games. Fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carlos Gonzalez facing Jonathan Broxton for the first time. One and 1. Fastball fouled away off third, down the line, back into the crowd. 1-2 the count. Gonzalez, Stewart, and Olivo, or a pinch hitter for the catcher. Available to Tracy would be Melvin Mora, a right-hand batter, Jason Giambi, left-handed, and Paul Phillips, a right-hander, and there's Giambi. 1-2. 2-2. Ulysses Shachin tomorrow night against Charlie Hager. Ubaldo Jimenez and Clayton Kershaw Sunday afternoon. 2-2. Whack foul. You can see where Glenn Allen Hill plays, coaching at first. Way out of the box, way down the line. Yep. He gives Gonzalez plenty of room. Gonzalez, 3 home runs, 20 runs batted in as Tracy draped over the railing. Fouled away. Gonzalez came into the game hitting .320. Got a scoring fly ball plus a base hit to drive in a run. So he's knocked in 2 of the 5. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another foul ball. Rogers, Flores, Daly, Beimel, and Belisle, Kuroda, Sherrill, Weaver, Troncoso, and Broxton. Interesting the fact that Jeff Weaver could be the winning pitcher just off the DL, and should he win, it would be his 100th career game. Foul the other way. Well, what a nice touch that is for Jeff Weaver. Come off the DL. He had a tough spot when he came in the 6th inning. And he had to pitch to Tulowitzki with a runner at 3rd. Walked him and then got Gonzalez. And Jeff could pick up the 100th victory of his career. Maybe. 2-2. Fouled away again. Tonight they were celebrating the 60s, and the 60s were the ups and downs. Maybe one of the lowest points in the Los Angeles Dodger history when they lost to the Giants in 1962. But then the next year, maybe the highest, when they swept the Yankees in 4. 2-2. And ball 3. So Gonzalez, who had only 4 walks and 21 strikeouts, is hanging tough with Ian Stewart on deck. This has been a 10-pitch at bat for him, and he has fouled off 7. Sounds like Todd Helton. And a base hit to left field. Boy, what an at-bat that was. But, of course, that kid we were talking earlier, he figures to be a star. He is a dandy.
Third baseman, Ian Stewart.
So the tying run is aboard. And the batter now will be Ian Stewart. And on the 11th pitch, Gonzalez just goes down and he goes the other way. Now, how about running? Well, he has stolen 4. But he's been caught 3 times. Ian Stewart, scoring fly ball, walked twice, struck out. 0 for 1. Stewart committing an error in the 3rd inning, and that was cashed in for a Dodger run. A strike. Boy, a good bluff by Gonzalez, so much so he had Jamie Carroll racing to the bag. Oh, and 1. There he goes. Pitch outside. The throw is right there on the money for the tag. Great throw by Russell Martin. Big play. You saw it. You could read the lips of Jamie Carroll. Nice throw. Boy, it was perfect. So Gonzalez had nowhere to go but to slide right into the tag. Boy, that was a clutch play. So 1 away in the 9th inning. And for young Gonzalez, he might have speed but he's only a break-even stealer, and that's not good enough. 4 stolen bases, caught 4. That's fouled away, 1-2. For Jim Tracy, that note we gave you so much earlier in the game must be maddening. 9 times the Rockies have won a game following a loss, and 9 times they have lost a game following a win. They have been the perfect 500 team. And now Stewart goes down on the slider. And with 2 out, Miguel Olivo will not be coming up. They will go to the bench, and it will be Jason Giambi. It figured one last shot. So the veteran Giambi, 39 years old, out of West Covina, went to Cal State Long Beach. 6'3", 230. Hadn't done anything much. 2 for 21. He was with the A's from 95 through 01. He was with the Yankees from 02 through 08. Then he went to the A's and the Rockies. His biggest year, he had 43 home runs for the A's, but that was 10 years ago. And ball 1. Jason that year, 43 home runs, 137 runs batted in, and he was the MVP. 6'3", 230. 1 ball, no strikes. Dodgers load up the right side of the infield. Carroll, DeWitt, and Loney, so Casey Blake all alone on the left. The outfield deep. Boy, Ethier has about 10 feet to the track in right field. 1-1. There's Andre way out there. Check swing for a strike. 1-2. Giambi has struck out not as much in 1 year as you might expect. His high in his career, 112. 1-2, and the crowd on its feet. Got it. So Broxton gives up a single, strikes out 2. Russell Martin took a lot of heat off Broxton with a perfect throw to get Carlos Gonzalez, and the Dodgers went on to win a thriller 6-5. 6 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. 5 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Rockies, and congratulations to Jeff Weaver. He wins his 100th career victory tonight. Broxton, by the way, who made 27 pitches last night, came right back to make 19 pitches tonight. Don't forget tomorrow night, Chacin and Hager, and then Sunday afternoon, Ubaldo Jimenez and Clayton Kershaw. Stay tuned for Dodgers Live. It's coming up next. And right now, good night, everybody.